Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about consistency. Consistency is important in so many areas of life, from health to business, finance, to even relationships. Uh, One of the first things you'll see if you go and research, how to be successful on YouTube, how to be successful on TikTok, it's consistency. Are you posting every day? Are you posting at the same time of day? The content that you're posting, is it consistent, or is it all over the place? Are you one moment you're catering to the cooking genre, another moment you're catering to the financial genre? Consistency is key. It helps people set expectations, and when they're expecting something from you, they are more likely to come back for more because they know what to expect. It's like doing cold calls versus communicating with someone who has given you an introduction. You know what to expect because your friend has said, "Hey, this is my friend Johnny, and he's a good guy." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I trust my friend, and he thinks that Johnny's a good guy, and so that must be I must be able to trust that to an extent." Right? Consistency, consistency, consistency. This works in relationships. If you are, in it for you and against you, if you are consistently flaking every time that your friends ask you out, you're going to find your relationship fall to pieces. Even if you were believe it or not, it works. It works even if you're not consistent. Like if you're like, well, sometimes he makes it 50% of the time, he makes it 50% of the time he doesn't. That's almost worse than consistently not making it, because they never know what's going to happen. It'd almost be better to assume that you're not going to go and then be, pleasantly surprised, 10% of the time, than to have such uncertainty as to you never know whether he's going to be there or not. It's almost better to just not, invite you at all. Health, same thing. You're not going to lose the love handles by going to the gym once every couple of weeks, or maybe for really intensely for 2 weeks, and then you just don't go back for 3 months, and then you go really intensely again for 2 weeks. It's consistency is key. Same with diet, right? In business, if you've got a shop, let's say you're a grocery store, and your hours are from 7 a.m. to midnight. If you're like, yeah, you know what, today I don't feel like opening at 7 a.m. I'm going to open at 8 a.m. Then you've got someone there who came at 7:30 thinking they could get their morning grocery run in, and you're closed. They're going to be like, well, forget this place. I'm never going back. I'll go to Walmart. I can at least trust that they're open 24/7, and that they're not going to just randomly switch the hours on me one day. Consistency is key in life. Consistency can really pave the way for you in life too. I ran a small business with my dad where we did funeral personalization, did portraits and prayer cards, memorial videos, things like that. And one of the things that we did is we had made it consistently our reputation of being able to create a amazing product, even if and even when we were advising the family against their initial request. So a family might have come in and said, "Hey, I would like a bright orange pamphlet with purple and yellow accents." And we're like, well, what color is your casket? And they're like, "Oh, my casket is red." I'm like, okay, well, hey, with your colors and with the photos that you've provided, we might recommend, this. And all of the time that we were working with the funeral homes, the funeral directors would tell the family, "Oh my gosh, trust Judah, trust Josh. These guys know exactly what they're doing. You won't have to fear by leaving it in their hands that they're going to do a bad job." When you come with a consistently good product, and you consistently exceed people's expectations, you will often find that it will make way for you to get more business, to have a special favor with your customers, and a special favor, even with people who you want to begin doing business with. Consistency contributes to your reputation, and reputation is what helps you get farther in life. Connections with people, and when you live a life of consistent discipline, it shows. It shows in your health, it shows in your relationships, and it shows in your bank account. Speaking of your bank account, investing and saving is another thing that has to be done consistently. People are constantly getting into to investing only in spurts. Oh my gosh, Doge is climbing, quick, let me get some crypto, and then Doge, crashes and everyone's like, oh, forget it, and so they pull out, they stop investing altogether, or, it was GameStop at one point and Bitcoin at another and Tesla at one moment and Apple at another. And everyone is saying to themselves, oh, I missed it, and it's like, if instead of trying to always catch, try only getting interested when you see some unicorn moment, you were to come into investing consistently, you would find that you wouldn't have to quickly hop on the bandwagon and miss the boat, but instead you would be in the boat from the beginning, making money. And in those moments where the unicorn comes around, you can really make some money. But in the meantime, in all the other times, you'll make money consistently, and consistent money is better than lottery money. You go to the lottery and you drop $10 here, $20 here, $100 here. You go and you go and you go and you lose, and then every once in a while you win and it hooks you. Now you're in, right? And you're like, you put in 100, you gain 10,000. You're like, I did it, I'm up, But then you're sucked in and you come and you gamble it all and lose it again, and then you stop and instead, the value of consistently chugging away and learning and growing is going to get you so much farther in investing and in relationships and in health and in business and really every area of life. Consistency is a hidden gem that people may not be utilizing to its fullest extent, or even realizing how key and important it is. Not many people may know this about me, but I've been on a weight loss journey for the last, we think it started in 2021, so 3, 4, 5, so almost about 3 years now. And some people might look at that and be like, it's taking you so long, Judah, what's taking you so long? And the truth is that, here and there I've gained some weight back and have not made it to my full goal of 190 pounds. But the one thing that no one could accuse me of is being inconsistent in it. I have been pushing and pushing and pushing for 3 years straight, and it has become a lifestyle. This will be the rest of my life. I'm not on some crash diet that I can push really hard for a long time and lose the weight only to gain it back some years later. I'm roughly 220 pounds right now, and I will never be above that again. My goal would be to be 190, but I can assure the world that apart from some major catastrophe where I fall into a deep, deep depression, there should be no reason that I'll ever get above 220 again, and that's because I have decided to do this in a consistent way. And it's taken some healing and some growth. I had to overcome bad habits. Had to stop doing lots of things. It wasn't about what I could add to my life consistently. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't just about what I could add to my life consistently, but it was also about what I could consistently free myself from. Be free from a feeling to need to clean my plate. Free from binge eating at parties. I had to start adding to my weekly activities, going to the gym. My job doesn't require me to do lots of physical activity, so I have to get that in another way. Consistency is like eating an elephant. It's one bite at a time. Break it into pieces and go at it, and eventually you're going to find yourself having eaten the whole thing and better for it. And that's what I'm going to do with this channel. My goal is to continue creating videos consistently, and put some structure to it, get them out at a certain time every day, and really start achieving something good. And as I consistently do it, I'm hoping that I'm going to learn and grow in how well I do, and how entertaining it is, and how much value I can provide. So hit that subscribe, hit a like if you want to see what consistency can do.